Hey, I'm Marty Koufax. Welcome to Koufax Sports. You're tuning in now to baseball and softball practice template number 11. Listen, I know I haven't been around for a little bit. I've been devoting a lot of time to T-ball and the T-ball practices. So we're back. We're going to be going over a few team drills, individual drills, and one advanced drill, which I think you're going to love. Make sure you subscribe. We have about 30,000 video clips coming. Please let your league know, let your commissioners know, let your neighbors know, let your friends know. Reminder, if you're a first-time coach, make sure you have a parents meeting. Make sure your kids have an updated eye test and hearing test. Don't think it's important. I've been burnt numerous times because I had a few players didn't have an updated eye test. All right, let's get right into it. Okay, and then I'll have a few announcements. I'll tell you about a new project which I'm trying on the channel. All right. After you warm up, and again, warming up, I neglected it the first few years I coached, but it'll be preventive injuries as they get older. And also, you're teaching the kids good lifetime habits when they go into their adult life. If they're playing tennis, they're playing pickleball, if they're jogging, they'll know that they have to warm up. This is a very simple drill. I'll hold it up. It's just around the horn. If you know baseball, softball, you probably know this. And what I try to do this, and don't just overlook this. You could do this with 5 players, okay? Or you could actually do it with 12. We have 3 players, 2 or 3 players at each base, and they rotate it. And the reason I like to do this and do it early in the season is because I bring in a stopwatch and I time it, and our season would run, let's say, from late March to the middle to the end of June. So I bring it in March, and I would document it in my notes, keep it. Kids will forget about it. And then towards the end of the year, I'll have the kids do this drill again. And I'll tell them, your time was, initially it was like 33 seconds. Now you're down to 28, just to show the improvement. And what I usually do is this. I have it starts with the pitcher, throws it to the catcher. And then he throws it to first, throws it to second, throws it to third, throws it back home. So the stopwatch starts as soon as the pitcher throws it there. Now, sometimes we like to go the opposite way, like around the horn, like we go to third, second, first, and home. It doesn't matter to me. But you want to teach the kids also some basic fundamentals to give a good target with the glove, okay? And you want them to bend the knees a little. And remember, the term I love to use is soft knees. Okay, so this is around the horn drill there. And also, there are a lot of different things that you could do with this drill also. And keep in mind, you want to teach them transferring the ball. They have to catch the ball before they start to transfer. Too many times we see kids, they'll hurry and the ball will fall out. All right, but you could also engage kids in different skills with this. Have them, if you want. I don't do it right away. You could have them straddle the bag and they catch the ball. They have to put the glove down for the tag in front of the base. There's a lot of different things you could do. But again, you don't have to do it more than twice in a full season. And I highly recommend you do it early, and then you do it towards the end of the year, and you see how fast the kids develop. We're going to go to an individual drill. I just started doing this because I like to use the facilities that you're using. And we had a high fence. So I just developed a fun drill, and you have to make sure the player has a helmet on. What I do is, I have one coach in this side of the fence with the players, and I go on the other side, and the player will have his back turned to me. I'll throw a high fly ball, and he'll turn around, and he'll try to pick it up, and he'll try to catch it. Okay, again, you want them to have a helmet on. For some reason, the kids like having like props or using different facilities that you're around. So this is the over the fence drill. Again, use helmet. Safety is always number one. You could use soft covered balls, which I recommend. And let's see, but the player is back. I'm reading my notes. Back to the fence. Coach is on the other side, and the coach will yell turn. Now, one key thing, you're going to have different players at different skill levels on your youth baseball team. The ones that are less skilled, you want to yell turn quicker than the other ones. In fact, when you start this drill, don't have them have their back face to you. Have them have their front face to you. Make it easier, and you want to progress, all right? So this is the over the fence drill. Okay. Now we'll go back to a team drill. This, you got to pay attention because of the safety. And this picture doesn't have actually all the players that I really want. It's the cross infield drill. I'm obsessed with keeping kids active, keeping everyone active in a drill. Okay, if you have the assistant coaches, and again, don't ever start a practice unless you have at least one assistant coach. You divide the team up, 12 players, 2 lines between, let's see, second and short, 2 lines between first and second. The coach here will hit ground balls here. The coach here will hit ground balls here. What this isn't showing, I'll usually have another player or another parent here to catch the ball. He'll hit a ground ball first to the first person here, while at the same time he hits a ground ball to the first person here. He'll throw it to the parent or another assistant coach standing here like he's a first baseman. After he throws it, he goes to the end of this line. After he throws it, he goes to the end of this line. These players always stay on the same side. They're married to the side they start on. Okay? Now, a key to this drill is you have to condition your players. If the coach mishits, okay, and the coach will do that, and it's a little dribbler, you have to yell stop. You don't want them charging a ball or they'll get a mouthful of baseball from the other coach. This drill will give players a lot of repetitions in a shorter amount of time. I call it the cross infield drill. You need a lot of baseballs. You need 2 buckets. Remember, I always tell you coaches and parents, I'm very frugal, but if you have to use your own money on something, do it on extra baseballs. Okay, that's the one investment you could make. Cross infield drill, great drill. Do it. Make sure you keep safety in mind. Okay. The next drill is like that fence drill, and I'm putting it in because it's a basic drill, but it's a great at-home drill also. It's called the turn drill. Okay, and you have 2 players, the backs to you, and you'll throw a ground ball, you'll yell turn, the player will turn around, and he'll either stop the ball or he'll catch it. Now, you could adjust the distance, and eventually you could throw fly balls. Keep in mind, if you heard me, I said they have to catch the ball or stop it. It's so important. We teach the concept for young kids. You don't necessarily have to catch the ball on a ground ball. Just keep it in front of you. You can still make the play. Okay, you've seen I have a goalie drill where I have players just stopping the ball. They go side to side. Again, it's such an important concept at a young age. This is the turn drill. Again, you could adjust the distance and you could adjust the timeline when you yell turn, depending upon the skill of the player. And you could eventually do line drives or fly balls, use soft covered balls. Okay, the next drill. Now, this is an interesting drill, and I might have shown it once, but I'm going to show it again because one time I was an assistant coach we went to a field to play another team, and we were late, and the game before us finished fast, and the administrator of or the whoever was running the tournament or whatever told us we're starting in 5 minutes. The other team was on the field. Excuse me. We weren't going to have a lot of time to warm up, so the head coach, again, I was assistant, he divided the team in half, and I call this the face-to-face drill. You could, and the reason I'm showing you this, you could do it in small areas. You divide the players in half, and you throw ground balls. After he throws a ground ball, he goes to the end of the line. After he throws a ground ball, he goes to the end of the next line. It's great for confined area. You can do line drives, but you have to space players apart. I would keep it to ground balls. Excuse me as I take a drink of water, try to clear this throat of mine. Before I get into the advanced drill, I just want to mention a few keys to having good practices. Remember, the better practices you have, the better game players you will have. Okay? The better practices you have, the better game players you're going to have. I wrote down a few keys. Preparation. And again, I urge you all to go to the library before the season. You could make a list of 100 drills. I began to do that when I first started coaching, and my list is now at about 500 drills. You're not going to use them all in the season, but it's great to have a list. It's great to prepare. You don't want to walk on the field not knowing what you have to do. So the first key, and again, there are a lot of keys, I'm going to go over 4, is preparation. The second key is to correct mistakes. If you're played on a Saturday, let's say you lost 5-3 and the team made a couple of mental mistakes and team errors, the next 2 days, I would write it down on an index card. And in the course of the practice, I would recreate the situation. And you don't want to embarrass any players. And you tell them, I'm not going to embarrass you. I'm just going over, putting you in the spot you were in and showing you the mistake you made and what we as a team have to do in that situation. When you correct mistakes and you do it over, you don't want players to make the same mistake twice. I'm telling you, if you set up the situation and go over it, the chances of the team making or the individual making the same mistake twice lessens. All right. And I do it on the index card. I know people have smartphones today. Do it any way you want. Another key is, this is key number 3, is you're able to transition from one drill to the next. I said to you make a list of drills, but if you're running a practice, usually I have 5 to 7 drills with one alternate. You want to make sure the drills kind of have a flow. And by that, what I mean is, and the kids won't know it, and the assistant coaches won't know it, if you're set up on the infield for one drill, you want to have, and you have another drill that's an infield drill, that's where you want to do it next. As the team's in the infield, it's very commonsensical. When you have the team in the outfield, you want to transition to another outfield drill if they're spread apart. Now, in the past, what I've done, I've had the team in a different, either the infield or the outfield, and for whatever reason, and I try to consider myself a specialist in baseball and softball drills. That's what I love to do. If I all of a sudden had a vision of a drill I wanted to try, I would try it as the team is set up, if it's in the infield or the outfield. So you want to have, again, I hope I'm articulating this right, you want to be able to transition from one drill to the next during your practice session. And the last thing is, you always want to end on a high note, whether it's batting practice or home run derby or having a competition. Kids love competition. You want to always end it on a high note. Okay, there are a lot of keys to practice, but I just went over 4. Now I'm going to go over an advanced strategy I think you'll love. I did go over once before. I call it the stupid coach drill. And I've done this like 3 times and it's worked every time. Now that's in the course of like over 25 years. Okay. But what we're doing is we have runners at first and second. And this is a situation where it's getting late in the game and you want to trade a possible out for a run. And I do this with the other team has first or second or bases loaded. And the only time I like to do it is when there's 2 outs. And what I do, I have a sign in place and I make sure in our field, the first base dugout is very close to the field. So I would make sure I would do this when I was in the first base dugout. And when you do a lot of advanced strategies, you have to make sure that you have the skill on your teams to do it. In this drill, I have to have a skilled catcher. I have to have players at first base and second base and the pitcher that have a very, very good baseball IQ. All right. Know your talent. You're going to have some years. I've had some years where I had very good talent. I've had some years where I've had talent right in the middle. And I've had some years where my talent was not that good. Know your talent. In this drill, what we're trying to do is get the player who's on first base, the base runner, overconfident. Okay. So this is what I do. I'm in the dugout and I go to my first baseman. I'll say like, Billy, play off the runner. He's not going anywhere. There's a player on second base. I'll say it, not that loud, but loud enough so the base runner could hear. And then I'll wait a second, and then I'll say it again. I'll say, Billy, play off the base runner. He's not going anywhere, almost in a yell. And I make sure the player, so the guy on base hears it, says, stupid coach, and walks away. And what he's doing is he's giving the guy who's the base runner first extra comfort, okay? He heard the coach tell him to play off. He heard the player say something negative about the coach. And what I'm doing then is I'm calling for a pitch out on the next pitch. All right, I'm having the first baseman play way off him. Or sometimes another technique is you can have him play in front of him so the base runner sees him. And I have a signal. And whenever I have a signal for a play like this, I give the signal to the players and they have to acknowledge it. It could be a scratch on the chin with the baseball glove. So on the next pitch, okay, if he's playing out first baseman, I might have him run in like it's a bunt. It's a pitch out. He'll pitch out. He'll throw the ball to third. The second baseman comes in. Remember, he's extra comfortable. So he's going to take a bigger lead. And then you get him into the rundown. And you must emphasize to the team that this is the out you want to get. If the other base runner or if this guy at third are scoring, you let them score. You're trading an out for a run. And usually it's only going to be one run. There's a bit of Hollywood in this with a little bit of acting. It works. Again, I found that I have to be in the first base dugout on my field to even attempt this. But I call this the stupid coach pickoff play. You could do different variations. All right. So that's it. We're going to wrap it up. As far as products, you could pick up this championship baseball drills. Every drill I went over, every strategy, and I have more advanced strategy is in this book. I highly recommend it. If you think you're going to be coaching a long time, pick this up. Don't pay for it if you don't have the money. Go to the reference desk of your library, ask for it. Okay, and again, please subscribe. And I want to tell you that I'm trying a new project in Koufax Sports. It's called Friday at 1 Sports Hero. Every Friday, I have a 1-minute segment on a famous athlete in the past. So if you can, please check it out. And I want to thank you for tuning in. So until next time, for Koufax Sports, I'm Marty Koufax. I'll see you at third base.